This is lesson 54, part 2, dividing fractions. This is part 2 of lesson 54, so you should have already done and completed the lesson practice questions for part 1, please. If you have not, go and do that. But this is part 2, dividing fractions for course 1. So when you're dividing fractions, let's start with 3/4 divided by 1/2. Okay, so when you are doing division with fractions, what you end up doing is you actually use the reciprocal fraction. So you end up changing this into the reciprocal. And because I change this into the reciprocal, I have to change my sign to the opposite, because reciprocal is kind of the opposite, right? You're flipping it to be the opposite fraction, because if you times both of them together, just a reminder, reciprocals are I have a half. The reciprocal is I should be able to times it by a fraction to equal 1. Okay, how I do that is I times this by the reciprocal fraction. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, which equals 1. Okay, so this is my reciprocal fraction for this. And the multiplication needs to follow me. So this would end up looking like this: 3/4 times 2 1s. Okay, and I would do my multiplication. So 3 times 2 is 6, 4 times 1 is 4, and I would now look at this and go, okay, this is a improper fraction. I need to change it. So 4 goes into 6 once, which leaves me with 2/4. Is this lowest terms? No. I can divide both of these by 2, so this becomes 1.5. Okay, the important thing here though, because you should know all of this bit already, the important thing to note was this. Okay, this turns into this. You change the second fraction into the reciprocal and change the operation into multiplication. That is how you divide fractions. Let's look at one more together. So this one is 1/2 divided by 3/4. Okay, so this is the same fractions, we've just flipped them. Again, because you're dividing, we need to take these two and we are going to change them into the reciprocal. So reciprocal would be 1/2 times 4/3. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, is that lowest terms? No, it is not. I can divide both of those by 2. That becomes 2/3. Is it lowest terms? Yes, it is. Okay, so this is now my answer. Okay, remember what I said, that even though this lesson is about dividing fractions, you still have to put your fractions into lowest terms. Okay, they always need to be in lowest terms. But for dividing fractions, you take the last fraction and the operation divide, and you do the opposites or the reciprocal fraction, and you go into multiplication and the reciprocal fraction, which is this fraction, flipped over. That is how you divide fractions. Lesson 54, part 2 for course 1.